Let's heat things up. Or should I say, let's cool things down. Our first artist is Tajana Raukar, who is a world championship ice sculptor, who invited us into her freezer to see how she makes people's ice dreams come true.
I think many times it just shows your dreams. And that's what you're looking in ice, what you're dreaming too, so it's magical. Each of us is completely different, and that's what I try to create in every ice carving what I do. I'm originally from Croatia, that's where I grew up, and come here looking for something better, as always. So I find ice. We are actually chefs. We do cooking, and ice carvings were just part of the Sunday brunches. So that's how I started, and I started to carve, the little cheese and fruits, vegetables, all these little flowers from it, and that's how it started. It's different, the ice is cold, but it can show so much more than regular clay. It's physical too, and you have to have certain energy to carve it, and I like that. These are sculptures now for the Plymouth Ice Show. They're gonna be displayed at some of the clients and vendors there who requested them. So I'm very happy that I could come there and sculpt it. Many times there is a certain design from clients, what they want, what to carve. But if I get the choice what to carve, you just go in front of the block and you just see what's in there, and you just start carving, and you find what's inside of that block. You have to visualize it, the whole piece, how it's gonna look when it's done. And what you see in front of you is just block of ice, square, blank. First you make the little, outline and like a template. I don't use much of the, already pre-drawn templates. I just go in and I start carving. But I do make that little template on it, you could call it, and then you start taking away all these extra parts which don't belong to show the picture you had in your head when you started. It's fairly physical, you would say. I mean, the block of ice, it starts at 300 pounds, and the chainsaw is heavy, and it's cold, and it's 9 degrees over here. You have to move stuff around, so it definitely have its sets of challenges. You have to just keep going, you have to carve quickly and just get that image, what you imagine out of that block, as fast as you could. Your image might change, so you have to, be fairly quick, to present it and to carve it out, so it stays there. That's the whole nature of this ice, just being fairly quick. And it keeps you warm. I use the chainsaw to carve out the majority shape, of the ice. Then lay it around for more intricate work to smooth down the surface and to carve it a little more in. I use the sander. Then there is the chisels, which I use if I want that it looks, more like a crystal, and it shapes it more. Then also the die grinders, which adds like the fine details, like an eyes, like a little swirl is around, hair, all these final details. That's what I use. And on the end, I use the torch, the fire, to melt down the surface to make it to look like a glass. I do like the crystal look. The ice is clear, and I try to show that clearness and purity of the ice too. We produce our ice blocks here in the studio.
Basically, this is the machines, the ice block makers, where we make our ice. The average take 3 to 4 days to freeze block of ice. They come 300 pounds. This is actually ready ice to be harvested for the ice carvings. So it will take, we'll hook them up on these 2 clips and lift them out.
Some of the blocks I freeze the items inside, and then I carve around it. Like for the weddings I had ice cubes, and there is the orchids frozen inside, so it's one flower, inside, and in all beauty, so it's kind of different look to it. For brides, majority, you know, they like initials or the hearts or, you know, anything romantic. Well, the corporate parties, you know, they like more their logos and less of the details on it because, you know, it needs to show their logo. My husband, Paul, you know, he always helps me around. He helps me a lot, you know, with the deliveries, with ice productions, with logos which have to be done on the CNC. There is lots of different work which doesn't involve exactly carving ice, but they have to be done. On Alaska, the blocks tend to be very big, so you can create a really large ice carvings. Some of the ice carvings are about 30 feet tall, so it took us 4 people for a whole week to carve on Alaska. It takes lots of preparation to coordinate, you know, all 4 carvers to come together and to carve that one piece, one dream. The first year we made that big pretenders where there were like 2 little colts. They were play fighting, right? You know, like 2 little kids, and they were imagining like that, those 2 big horses, you know, unicorns right up there on the top, and they're just with all their, you know, glory. So it takes lots of work and imagination to come and to present that. You try to show the power, you know, what is inside of these. It's not just a block of ice anymore, you know. It's they have to look like they're big and powerful. When you look at the ice carvings, you can see different things, so it's completely up to the viewers to see. Also, there is kids. There is always kids around, and they go and they see, oh, look, there is a dragon. You know, there is a little goldfish. There is fairy, and it just warms your heart, you know, when you hear that. So you just have to continue. I like to be here. For me, the worst day is to go out and be and do the paperwork. I love to be here and just stay in the freezer and carve.
You can learn more about Tajana Raukar as well as all the artists we feature on DetroitPerforms.org.